Hello, greetings to all. My name is Prabodh Patil, and these are my group members Mohit Musare, Aman Warke, Satish Kannade, and Apine Dakne. Today, we are going to make a video on CMOS technology in asset designing, which was guided by the Professor Hitesh Loda. Firstly, I am going to explain about the difference between the CMOS and NMOS. So, CMOS is a type of a metal oxide semiconductor and FET transmitter, which process that uses complementary and symmetrical pairs of P-type and N-type MOSFET for logical functions and circuit designing. Where the NMOS is an N-type metal oxide semiconductor, which uses in logic N-type MOSFETs to implement logic gates and other digital circuits where the first CMOS circuits have higher speed than the NMOS circuits. In the earlier days, CMOS circuits used to have many process steps, which makes it more complicated than the NMOS. But when the MOS invention is downside to 1 to 2 micrometer, then the NMOS processing steps were increased and became more complicated than the CMOS. But where the CMOS processing steps didn't change, they remained the unchanged. CMOS logic gate uses more silicon layout area than the equivalent in MOS gate. CMOS technology is easy for both digital and analog application in the circuit designing. In the When we talk about the analog circuit designing, the CMOS performs the NMOS because it has a high noise immunity, and CMOS has a good application in the low power, which makes it more useful in designing the high gain operational amplifiers. The bilateral switches also work much better with CMOS transmission gates because N and P channel FETs can be paired to eliminate body effect as observed in NMOS. CMOS can ease this problem of high substrate current and long-term short threshold shift with the three methods. First method is the P-channel load transistor in CMOS logic do not suffer from hot carrier into degradation, but in the whereas N depletion devices in MOS circuits do deplete because of the hot electrons. Second one is the CMOS circuit do not draw static current, thereby reducing hot carrier induced device degradation. The third one is the CMOS did not often use bootstrapping or substrate bias techniques, which increases the electrical field in the device and many further aggregate the hot electron problems, where the NMOS circuits do. CMOS suffers much less from electromagnetism because no static current flows in metal lines. Because the electromagnetism is the great incursions in a VLSI, so CMOS suffer less in electromagnetism, which makes it good for circuit designing. The last one we can briefly say that CMOS, when compared to the NMOS, has much less power, has a comparable speed, and slightly poor density, but better reliability than the NMOS.
Yeah. In the previous section, we have seen PMOS and NMOS, CMOS and PMOS. Now, in this section, we will see the CMOS fabrication in twin tube process, tub process. Now, coming to the process sequence, first step is tub formation. For fifth step is contact cutter definition, and the last step is metallization. Now, if we talk of tub formation, here we are going to form two tubs, that is P well and N well. So in N well, N well is going to act as a substrate for the formation of PMOS transistor, and P well is going to act as a substrate for formation of NMOS transistor. This is the logic behind the twin tube process. Now coming to the next step, thin oxide construction. So actually, this thin oxide construction provide insulation between a polysilicon gate and substrate. So, in order to have this thin oxide layer, means the construction of oxide thin means construction of gate. Now, the next step is formation of source and drain implantation, and the next step is contact cut definition, and the last step will be the metallization. So, these are the steps we have to do. So what we require to take is the substrate. We require to take a substrate either n plus or p plus. substrate which are lightly doped. We are using a lightly doped uh, because of our needs of constructing of twin tubes. Also, in order to protect latch up, as we can see from the diagram, we have to take a epithelial level layer. So the epitaxial layer is the extra layer which is going to grow on silicon surface. Now we have to take the higher doping N plus P type substrate, and then we have to grow some extra layer, and then the dopant concentration we have to take correctly, because we have to take the dopant concentration correctly, because dopant concentration determine the electrical property. Now if, as we can see from the as we said, explain the following steps, we can see that steps in our diagrams as well, as shown in the PPT. The and so the next will be explained by Satish.
Okay, so the next part is the retrograde well for high density. Usually, conventional wells are formed by diffusion, which is an isotopic process, meaning that impurity atoms diffuse laterally as well as vertically. Now, lateral diffusion takes up the silicon area, resulting in poor packaging density and high energy ion implantation, which is when used for well formation, provides minimum lateral spread because of the anisotropic behavior of the implantation process. And this type of profile, so-called retrograde profile, has various advantages like providing a retarded electric field, which in turn reduces the vertical bipolar gain. And the second one is resulting in high conductivity at the bottom of the well, which decreases IR drop in the well and increases vertical punch through when the well is made shallow. And finally, reducing junction capacitance and body effect if the implant energy is sufficiently high to move the highly doped region away from the channel. For BIMOS application, the highly conductive layer near the bottom of the retrograde well can usually be used as buried layer if bipolar devices are made in the well. Now, both retrograde P and N well approaches have been demonstrated, and their results show some good device characteristics and latch up immunity. As described previously, the choice of particular CMOS technology strongly depends on the circuit applications they have, and it also relies on the historical development of silicon house. For example, a well-established NMOS facility may have chosen the N-well approach because of the N-channel processes are portable, whereas a CMOS manufacturer may maintain its original P-well technology so that existing designs can be used. And scaling of CMOS to half micron dimensions may take twin tub or retrograde well technologies more attractive because for the reasons mentioned previously. And the relationship between the technology choice and the circuit design is summarized in this table. And now I would like to ask Satish to quickly glance us through the key issues in CMOS.
Now, in CMOS scaling and CMOS reliability, there are if the some catch up. Now we are going to start with the hot electrons effect in next slide. So the basically hot electron effect is when NMOS is in saturation stage particularly, or we can say it is in pinch off condition. The electron carries moving with saturation velocity, and uh, it can create a parasitic effect in drain side. So also the hot electrons can create the gate current, and it gate current can result in oxide breakdown and other long term device degradation. So it will have in next slide. So the solution is the lightly doped drain solution. We can say the LED. LED can be solution for the stress by hot carrier repair. Field at a drain channel junction must be reduced, or we can say the doping of concentration at the reverse biased drain channel junction reduced. So this increases the depletion with width at this junction,
Hence, the electric field, the channel is doped less compared to the main drain area. This will be the partial solution for the hot electron effects. Now, the second effect we are going to discuss is buried channel characteristic. You can see a leakage in next slide. So basically, leakage is the characteristic of buried channel. If we compare the circuit channel device, buried channel device are more susceptible and super threshold leakage due to a stronger effect in drain induced barrier lowering. So these carriers located away from the gate are hard to control by gate voltage. Finite, that's why the finite leakage at the zero gate bias. So the solution for this leakage is we can discuss in a next slide. The thinner we can give the thinner P layer for the solution for the leakage, and the more device resemble a surface channel FET, or if P layer is thin, we can address this leakage issue. So the next issue we are going to discuss is latch up. So the latch-up is refers to a short circuit formed between power and ground rails in IC leading to high current and damage the ICs. It will damage the ICs. If we speak about the leakage in CMOS transistor, latch-up is the phenomenon of low impedance between the power rail and the ground rail due to interaction between parasitic PNP and NPN transistor. And also it is because of if B1 into beta 1 into beta 2 is greater than 1, then it will happen the latch up. We have also a solution for the latch up, like if by seeing the beta 1 and beta 2 we can give the solution like latch up modeling. It is clear that latch up can be prevented by reducing the bipolar gains or lowering the shunting resistors simply, but latch up prevention protection include putting a high resistance in a path. So the next
So talking about future technology in CMOS, where first we talk about cold CMOS, then embedded DRAM, and then silicon on insulators. So firstly, we will talk about cold CMOS. While lowering the operation temperature in this CMOS circuit, the device performance is been reduced. On the other hand, the internal connection of the resistor, and then the gain is due to the of the stepper sub-threshold slope, which allows below voltage and at the given of current. And however, the high carrier is mobility throughout the process, depending on the device design structure. About 30 percentage device performance gain, and on the achievement at negative 30 degrees Celsius, it goes on the negative part. So next slide. So on this is an embedded DRAM. Once this technology was established, it has an integration with the embedded DRAM into a high performance logic basis. And in this recent work, the DRAM with a cell size of 0.62 PMZ is integrated into a high performance CMOS logic technology, and then this was resulted to the drastical change in the CMOS market. This was and representation about a 6 times cell density enhancement relational to the state of art SRAM. So in the same technology, and then the logic performance of this technology can be of 2 to 3 times higher than that of the DRAM and basically embedded technologies. And we coming to the other distribution or difference between features of this logic gates or embedded DRAM, including the flexibility of the design or a high speed DRAM, and also called it goes into the micro and then mini and mini part of the and then application specify spins on retaining times and the cell size. And coming to the diagram part, so the silicon on insulator. So this diagram represent how actually the lithograph DRAM and the microprocessors were in the years 90s and 2015s. So this was the process. Actually, the transistor size was getting smaller. Due to that, the product or the electronic products were smaller. On 90s, it was the size of the transistor were big, so that it result for the microprocessors to develop as a big in the size. So coming to the theory part on this list, descriptive technologies that offer additional device like it have the level performance and at the lithograph and supply voltage is SOI. So the supply voltage depending on the CMOS device which was manufactured by the two layers and layer of insulator including of bulk silicon and often about 20 to 35% performance enhancement. So this benefit to the people and the production were good and the device performance without pushing on channels length and gate oxide thickness since the SO1 performs gain over bulk comes from the elementing and then elementing from the area of junctions and capacitors high dynamic drives and current and eliminating of the body effect. So this result to the body effect draining part and all the stuff. And this was the main uh, future technology coming in our domain where we are going to see a small subset of the devices and it having the good features coming to us. So next slide. So we have done the paper published and it is done successfully and this was the confirmation email get from them. You have successfully done. Then thank you.